Missouri Star Live. I am Misty Doan, and that is Jake behind the camera that you'll hear his voice.
Looks like we got some thunderstorms over central Illinois.
Ooh, we've got some thunderstorms heading our way,
hey
too.
Hey y'all from Texas.
Awesome. We have Ann from, I guess that's Nebraska. I wanted to say New England for some reason.
We got North Carolina shouting in.
Cindy from Canada.
New
Vita from
York.
Oregon. Thank you guys so much for being here. We
California.
are back from Ginny on the Road. We've been in Michigan. It was a wonderful time. We had a great time there.
Oh yeah, Michigan was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And we stopped by, which they saw last week.
We stopped in Chicago along the way. So it was a fun trip.
Wait a second. London, Virginia, Holland, Texas. Holy cow, they're coming through now. Oregon, Budapest. What?
Budapest? Jake's been to Budapest.
That was a great place.
Yeah,
one of my favorites.
Loved it. That's awesome.
Miami, Florida, Philippines was holy. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. So today we have a really fun project. We are going to be making these little Tisket Tasket baskets. They take 2 fat quarters, which is amazing. We all have some fat quarters in our stash.
Tisket Tasket, a cute
2
little
fat
basket.
quarter basket. Isn't that so cute? And it's a pattern that comes from our dear friends Barb and Mary from Me and My Sister Designs. And so, of course, we are using...
Which one's the sister?
I am.
Yeah, that's their
Or we
bit.
are. Me or something.
Yeah.
Dang it.
They're the cutest.
Hope you're not listening,
We
Barb.
love them. Sorry, Barb and Mary. They totally butchered your bit. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I apologize. That was my bad.
But because it's their cute pattern, we thought it would only be appropriate to use their new line. This is called Good Day. So bright and happy. And we just dove into this fat quarter bundle. I've got a few already separated out here. It's so cute. It's so fun. My daughter loves their lines. And when I brought this home to work on those step outs for this tutorial, it was sitting on the counter and Ashlyn picked it up and she's like, is this for me? She was so excited. But I was like, maybe the leftovers, we'll see.
So like always, whenever we're starting the videos, all the links for these things
yep, they're in the description. You can find them in the post and it'll take you to the fabric, to the pattern, everything you need to make it. Mary's got it all ready to go. All right, so literally what you need to get started is 2 fat quarters. So I have got my bundle that I've already dove into, so let's pick some here. I'm really liking these purples and teals.
Mary Hickman was here.
Oh, how fun.
Last week.
That's awesome. I'm gonna use
She
these.
came from Wisconsin. Wait a second. Wait a second.
We weren't in Wisconsin. We were in Michigan. Jake was lost the whole trip.
Oh yeah.
We've been in Wisconsin
Did I say
before.
Wisconsin?
You did just then, yeah.
It's close. It's close-ish. It's about 8 hours away.
Yeah. So he's funny. All right. There we go. I'm gonna use those 2. So we're gonna pick 2 fat quarters. And then the first thing I did is I just wanted to press them so I could make sure I had nice, clean cuts, no wrinkles or anything in there. So we're gonna give these a press. We need like ironing music.
Okay, Patricia's asking about the thimble pin cushion. That's not actually you can't actually buy a thimble pin cushion.
That's right. You can buy that thimble cup. We have that on our website, on Missouri Star's website. But then we did a live showing you how to turn that into a pin cushion. So you can go back and watch that. All right.
So buy the cup, yeah, and then watch that tutorial.
Hey, our
you can make your very
ironing music
own.
should be Iron Maiden.
Oh my
I don't even know what that is, but I don't think that's my iron music. I need like a happy little, like show tunes or something to play while I'm pressing.
Susan, thank you. Because am I in California? Am I in Missouri? I don't know. I got in a car and we ended up somewhere. But the people were very nice.
Yes, we had a fabulous time. Okay, so I have both of my fat quarters that I chose pressed and ready to go. Let me move these things out of the way. And so then you have to decide which one do you want to be the main body of your bag and which one do you want to be the handles. And so I'm going to use...
Are we sold out? Are those pin cushions? Are those thimbles?
They're in the store right now, so... Okay, so I'm going to use this one for the body. I love these little birds. So I'm just gonna fold it in half to make it easier to cut down. And what we're going to need for the body of the bag is we need 2 pieces that measure 10 by 17.5. So I've folded it this way. I folded it so the long side of my fat quarter is towards me. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to trim off this selvage. And then we need 10. So we'll come over here. And 10. There we go. So you can see very little waste. Sorry, Isaac. Had stuff in his way. You could have just told me, I would have moved it. All right, so we have those 2 cut. We have the 10-inch measurement done, so we're going to turn it on its side this way. And remember, we need 17.5. That looks nice and straight on that edge. Sometimes you have to straighten up both sides, so just check. So let's see here. 8 plus 25, so I just need to trim off this.
Somebody asked what the bag's called, and I love saying the name, so.
A Tisket, a Tasket, 2 fat quarter basket. So cute.
I like to freestyle a little bit and say a cute little basket.
A cute little basket. I love it.
Tisket, a Tasket.
And that, remember, you can get that at the link in our post. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Make sure we're all square here. So again, our measurements that we're looking for, 10 by 17.5. Oops, got a little crooked. There we go. All right.
And what's the name of the fabric one more time?
This is called Good Day by me and my sister. For Moda, if you didn't know that part. Okay, so this is gonna be the body of the bag. So next step is we need to get our handles ready. So we're going to fold that the same way in half so I can get this trimmed up. And so then what we're going to look for our handles is we need to cut 4 pieces that are 5 by 17.5. So again, we're going to line this up. Oop, not happy with that. We're going to trim off our selvage so that doesn't end up in our project. And then we're going to cut some 5-inch strips. Oops, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Forgot where I was.
Karen is saying that there's free maps at the Welcome Centers. I agree. Dude, GPS is killing us. It's ruining us. It's like cell phones. I don't remember any phone numbers anymore because they're all in my cell phone. Like, how do I call my wife if I lose my cell phone?
It's so true.
I need to like carry around a protection card with my phone number and address on it.
In case you get lost.
If I get lost, they can return me to my house.
They can return you to where you belong. All right. So then now we're going to do the same thing we did with our 10-inch pieces. We're going to cut them all down so that this measures 17.5 this way. I have some that are already ready to go, so I'm going to show you that. I have some pieces here that I've already trimmed down, and these are going to make our ties. So I want to show you a little tip. For me, I want to put them right sides together before I do this next step because I found this to be easier when I took it to the machine. So we're going to put our pieces right sides together. They measure 5 by 17.5. I've got 2 sandwiched together. And then we're going to take our little ruler and a marking pin of your choice. And we're going to measure in 2 inches. Whoops. There we go. Slid that down. 2 inches from either side. And make a little mark. Can you see that? Do you need me to move it? There we go. Like so. And then we're also going to measure 6 inches down on the side and make a mark on both sides. There we go.
Copper says she's making these bags with her mother-in-law right now.
Perfect.
You guys are so in sync. There's like a...
You guys are on top of it. So you can see I've made these 4 little marks, 2 inches from either side and 6 inches down. Whoops. And I just have my pieces perfectly lined up, and then I'm going to take my ruler and right where I marked, I'm going to put one side there and one side there, and we're going to trim these corners off. There's the first one. And I'm going to come this way. There we go. We've cut both of those off. And now, on the pattern, it recommends that you curve this top little bit, and it says if you have a quarter or something like that to make it nice and uniform. I actually found the little guard for my thread for my sewing machine. I used the smaller one, so this was just in with the tools. I found that it fits perfectly on there, so that's what I'm using. And so same thing, I'm just going to
So add that to your product list.
add
one of those
yes,
little
you need one of these little thread
thingy,
guards.
top dilly.
You just need a little circle, or you can eyeball it, but the important thing is that you want both of these pieces to be pretty dang close to the same. And so now I'm just going to take that, and I'm just going to trim that curve. There we go. You can see now they match up perfect. So once that is done, the next step is we're going to take this to the machine. And this is why I said to just go ahead and put your pieces right sides together, because now you can take this to the machine and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch down around this little curve and back. We're going to leave the bottom open because we're going to enclose that in a seam later. So let's take it to the machine. If you want to pin this, feel free. I didn't find that I needed to. Okay. Take your time, make sure if it starts to shift, you line your fabric back up. That first little curve is super easy, it's nice and gradual. Oops.
Cynthia was saying somebody's jumping on at 2 a.m. Who was this? Who's Pip? Where are you from, Pip?
All right.
2 a.m. That is dedication.
That is dedication. All right, we're working on this little curve at the top. So I'm just going to take a couple stitches, lift my presser foot, turn a bit, take a couple more, lift my presser foot. Obviously I have my needle down. There we go.
Australia. Nice.
I find this is more forgiving than you think it's going to be, but I just want it to be as smooth as I can make it. So there we go, I've made it around that curve pretty quick, and then we can zoom back down the other side. There we go. That is done. Now you do want to take some time and clip around this curve that you sewed so we can let that bulk kind of fold in on itself. So just don't cut through your threads. Nothing fancy. I'm just going to trim around those curves. There we go. And now we're going to turn this right side out. This is an exact science. Get in here.
Just nice and easy.
Yeah. Any questions yet, Jay? We're doing good.
I've been shooting them out. I've been answering the questions, right, guys? Come on.
Oh, I think you're doing a fabulous job. I just didn't know if there were any
They were
new
asking
ones.
if you use steam when you press.
I do use steam. I like it. It's like I don't know, invigorating or something.
They're asking if that's actually a sock puppet.
It could be. You could make it one. All right, so now I'm just turning my seams out. I'm going to give it a press. And then we're going to take it to the machine and top stitch around the edges. All right, there we go. So right back to the machine. We're going to top stitch just to give it a nice finished look.
Ramjet says, what? No purple thing? I think it's thang.
Yeah,
Purple
and I just
thang.
didn't find that you needed it for this. I could just get in there with my finger once I had clipped that curve and it turned right out. Same as
You
before.
could use pinking shears instead of...
Oh, absolutely. That'd be great. As usual, there are always multiple options. So again, I'm just slowing down here at the tip, a couple of stitches, and then turn, and then turn. Oops.
Somebody asked what sewing machine you're using.
This is the Baby Lock Jubilant. There
We've
we
had
go.
it for a few weeks. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I really like it. Alrighty. Trim my threads. Okay, so this is what's going to make the handle of our bag. I already have another one ready to go. So you can see that matches up great. And so now we're going to make the body of the bag. And so we're going to do that by taking our 10 by 17.5 inch piece and we're going to just fold it in half. And the first thing we want to do is we're going to sew this right on this edge here with a 1/4 inch seam. We're going to make a tube. Okay. Now I do like to backstitch here just because I don't want it to come loose.
They're asking if we have some fun Halloween projects coming up. What are we going to do for our kids this year?
Oh man, I don't know, they haven't decided, but we always do like handmade Halloween costumes, so I need to start making them choose earlier so I have some extra time to work on it because I'm always like scrambling down to the wire to make these costumes, but it's fun. We love doing it. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is center this seam, and it should measure, folded in half. Let's see here. Whoops, I'm backwards. There we go. Should measure about 8.5. There we go. So I want my seam to be at 4 1/4.
Sandu's asking what we're making. We're making a Tisket, a Tasket,
A
a fat quarter
a
basket.
2 fat quarter.
A double fat quarter basket.
That's right. Okay, and then I'm going to take this to the machine now that I have this centered, and I'm going to go ahead and press that seam open to reduce the bulk. Ooh, we've got thunder starting in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Hopefully we don't
rolls.
lose internet signal. All right.
Misty, we got to have positive vibes, positive thoughts.
Oh yeah, we won't. We're not losing.
We're not losing the internet.
signal.
Not
You're
today.
right. Okay, so now we've got that pressed in half. Actually, I'm going to give this little bottom edge an even better press just to make sure I've got it exactly in half. And then I want to kind of finger press my handles. There we go, just to give a little mark so I can see to line them up, because we're going to line it up right here on this seam. I'll show you. Give it a little press. We can just stack these together. And we're going to put them inside our tube that we made. And we're going to line up that center seam of the handle right with our seam that we pressed open, so that those are centered exactly with our bag. Make sure.
This is crazy. Copper was saying she had the Project Runway brother. Remember that? That was like one of the first machines we bought when we were married.
I actually had that machine. I did have that machine. That's awesome. It was a great little machine.
I
Okay.
think we were making like tablecloths for a business that I had.
Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to pin these in place. Again, I've got that sandwiched inside the tube that we made. That's going to be the outside part of our bag. And now we're going to take this to the sewing machine and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam right along there to hold it all together. Okay.
Copper, it was Soul Sisters. Soul Sisters.
Okay. Ta-da. Okay, take out our pins. And we're going to box these corners. So because of the handles, you do want to just take your time and work with this a little bit to make sure that you have it centered, your center seam lined up with this bottom seam so that everything...
You don't want to box your handle.
You don't want to box your handle. That's exactly right. So take your time, make sure you've got it right. And I feel pretty good about where we are now. So I'm going to lay that over. I like to open my seam, but it's such a small area. I think I'm just going to let it lay to the side. And then I'm going to take my ruler. And we're going to measure down. An 1.5 inches. And we are going to make a mark and take this to the machine. So again, just draw your line. There's our first box corner. I'm going to pick it up and take it right to the machine. So right on that line.
Anita says, is it Jake from State Farm? I'm wearing
Jake.
khakis.
Okay, so there's that side. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, just take your time here. This is worth a little extra second to make sure you've got it lined up just so. Okay. Here we go. That feels right. You can kind of tell once everything is right where you wanted it. It all just feels right under there. And again.
There's somebody saying we have 1,000 viewers on Facebook.
That's
Awesome.
That is so awesome. All right. So again, right to the machine. Sew that other seam. There we go.
Okay, they're asking what we're making.
A tisket, a tasket,
a tasket.
a 2 fat quarter basket.
So we're
By
making a
me and
little
my sister.
basket, yeah.
Yeah, it's this cute little goodie basket. It's great for gifts, all kinds of fun things. All right, so now I'm going to trim off my excess fabric here, just down to a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, if I can keep track of my tools. There's the first side, the second side. Make sure you've got everything out of your way. You don't want to cut into any of your projects.
Somebody's asking if that purple marking pencil's back in stock yet. We're on it, we're searching.
We will check, hopefully soon. Add it to your wish list on our website and it will tell you. Okay, sorry about that, guys.
Holy.
We lost power. Everything went black. So that was a little shocking. If you were joining us before, hopefully you can come back on and we will finish this up, and let's pray that we don't lose power again before we can finish this up. So we just finished boxing the corners of the outside of our bag, and the next step is to do the exact same process with your lining piece, but you're just not going to have your handles in the way this time around. So we have it ready to go. So we have both YouTube and Facebook back. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Sorry about that. So I have I've got both of my pieces with the corners boxed and ready to go. So we're going to turn the inside part right side out. And I kind of just like to roll up my handles here to keep them out of my way. And then remember that side seam we put in, we're going to stick this piece inside of this one, and we're going to use that side seam. That's why we took the time to measure it and make sure it was exact and in the same place. We're going to line those up again here. So we're just going to do that. I'm going to take a minute and grab my clips. And we're just going to clip around this bag. We good, guys?
Mm-hmm. Hey, we're getting a camera so we can show you the storm.
Oh, people want to see it?
But wait 1 sec.
All right, we're lining up.
This is live view, folks.
All right, I'll wait.
Okay, can you hear us? This is a live view. This is the storm of Hamilton.
Out our studio windows.
All right, back to Misty. Back to you in the studio.
All right, all right. So we've got both of our pieces. We put them right sides together in here. You can see I put the inside of the bag, the outside of the bag, excuse me, inside the liner portion of my bag. And I have just lined up that top edge, lined up those side seams that we pressed open. And we're just going to take this to the machine and we're going to stitch with a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. Actually, not all the way around. We want to leave about a 3-inch opening so we can turn this right sides out. So just make sure you back stitch at the beginning and end of that opening. So I've took my extension table off to expose the free arm of my machine just so I have more room to work here. Just going to line this up under here, put my needle down, back stitch. Oops. Slide out those clips.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the most confusing lives because
know.
it's like we were so close to being done.
We were so close. Sorry, guys. All right, so we're just going to go around.
Lucy, we cannot see the chat on YouTube. So if you need to ask, go to Facebook.
All right. So we've top stitched around, left about a 3 to 4 inch opening there. So sorry to have to do this in 2 videos, guys, but when you're live, and at the mercy of nature, these things just happen. And so now we're going to turn this right side out through that opening.
We have the chat.
Perfect.
It's working.
We're making the bag. All right. So there we go. We've got it all right sides out. And so now we're going to stuff this piece inside. And we want to turn out that seam. There we go. And you can see here, this is that opening I left. And so I'm just going to kind of turn this under by hand, what would be my 1/4 inch, and just give it a little finger press along there. Because then we're just going to top stitch this to close it. There we go. You can take it to the iron if you want. Just press it all down. It might be easier. You just want to get both pieces of fabric turned under there so you can catch it at the machine and not have any raw edges on your opening. It is storming good, so let me try and hurry through this so we don't lose signal again. I can hear it. All right, so we've got that all pressed. We're gonna take it to the machine, just top stitch all the way around. Make sure to back stitch at the beginning and the end to lock that in place.
Somebody, our copper was asking if you would recommend something to stiffen it up, like a
You
interfacing.
totally could put an interfacing in there if you want. I mean, this is really just meant to be like the simplest basket ever. It's so simple. All you need is 2 fat quarters. So there are no quilting rules, or at least we don't think so. So if you have an idea, give it a try. And we would love to see it.
Maybe not rules, but police. There's no
There's
quilting.
no quilting police. That's right. I don't think there's rules either. Guidelines.
Yeah, this
advice.
is a new sport. Power crafting.
Power crafting.
Through the storm.
Through the storm. All right, so here we go. We've got this ready. And the next thing it tells you to do is to fold it down. Oops, I've got a little thread there that snuck out from where I folded it under. Next thing it tells you to do is fold it down about 1.5 inches. You can just eyeball this. It doesn't have to be totally exact, but it's part of the design to have it folded over. And this is where I think if you had an extra fat quarter, if you were making more than one of these baskets, you could use a different piece for your lining, and then you'd have a little accent fabric that would show on your fold over, which would be really cute. But because the intent is to keep it folded over, they recommend the pattern, and our good friends at Me and My Sister recommend that you then take this to the machine and sew down about 1/2 inch from the top. So we're just gonna do that. This would be a great place to use a decorative stitch if you wanted to. But it's just to hold that fold over in place so it doesn't try and flip up later. Again, back stitch. There we go.
I think I cursed us at the beginning for saying that we weren't going to lose the internet today.
It could have been me.
Not on my watch.
All right, so we've got the little fold over stitch down, and now we're going to fold up one of our sides, just like so. Just make sure it's nice and straight. And we're gonna put, I lost my pins, there they are. I'm gonna put a pin in here to hold that in place. And I think you could probably get away with not doing this, but this just helps provide it some structure. So what we're gonna do is we're now gonna stitch right along that top edge again and hold the strap in place so it stays up where we want it. And we're gonna do that on both sides, so we can go ahead and do that here and sew both of those seams when we go to the machine. There we go. 1 and 2.
Okay, since we did get cut off, I'm going to say it one more time. I don't think we've said it. The Tisket, a Tasket, a double 2 fat quarter basket.
A 2 fat quarter basket. It's a adorable pattern by our good friends at Me and My Sister. All right.
Yeah, they're awesome. And you can find all the stuff. We got cut off, the lightning struck and shut everything off. But if you want to find all this stuff,
if you want to find the rest
is it in the
of
description
instruction,
anymore? It might not be. We'll put it in there at the end of the show.
All right. So there we just sewed across the length of our handle there. And back stitched at the top and bottom of that to hold it in place. Super cute. Trim my threads. Flip around to the other side. We are almost done. This is the final seam. And that's some big lightning. Ah! The pressure's on, guys. Okay.
So you just take some duct tape and you just wrap it around here. And a zip tie and you're done. You're done.
Oh, goodness. It's always an adventure on Missouri Star Live, that's for sure. Okay, so we have that side done. Trim our threads.
Sharon, hello. Hello, Sharon.
I don't know what is happening.
That was for copper. It
I
was
don't
for
know
copper.
what's happening in the chat. Some type of adventure. But that is it. It's so easy. Then you just put your goodies in there, tie up the top, and it ties so cute since you tapered those edges. It's adorable.
Now we can breathe. We made it.
We made it. We made it through the project. Sorry you had to see
power
it in
didn't
two
shut
parts.
off.
But how cute is that? Oh, I still have pins in this side. Could have been a disaster. There we go. Anyway,
Oh, yeah. I forgot the super glue part.
What
Right
super
after you
glue?
wrap it with duct tape and then zip tie it, you just super glue it together and it's done.
Don't listen to him. You just sew it. It's super easy. It's adorable. Sorry for the confusion. We lost power. It's, we're live. Oh, yes, thanks. Mary just reminded me, Barb and Mary will be in town for Birthday Bash. We're super excited to have them. They will be doing the sew off with Jenny and Sue, so that will be very, very fun, and we're excited to share that. So make sure if you haven't already, you can get your swag bag. You can book tickets to trunk shows and to Dinner with the Don'ts. Come have dinner with us. We have so many fun events during Birthday Bash, and we would love to see you here in Hamilton.
And they're awesome. They're so good. They're some of the coolest people.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be.
And they're funny too.
Barbara, Mary,
so it's gonna be
and
hilarious.
Sue are all amazing. We are just so excited to have so many wonderful people from the industry. Thank you, Barbara, Mary, for letting me teach your adorable 2-fat quarter basket. We really appreciate you guys.
I'm ordering battery backup everything right now, so this is never gonna happen again.
I mean, never say never when it
Never
comes
say
to
never.
live,
Okay,
I feel.
you're right.
But, thank you guys so much for sticking with us,
Yep,
and we
thanks,
will
guys.
see you next week.
You guys are awesome. Later.
Bye.